Um, it's our business to always welcome you at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police, where we usually take time to proactively update you on happenings or investigative issues or outcomes at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. And so we have invited you this Saturday, and someone would say, why Saturday, why not Monday? But it's important for us to always keep the public informed of happenings as they happen. And so we have invited you basically on today, Saturday, to brief you on a major intervention the LMP has made in clamping down on misinformation to the public. Recently, we appeared on State Radio ELBC and also on the Ministry of Information regular press briefing, and we assured the public that this leadership of the Liberia National Police, headed by our Inspector General, Honorable Patrick Sudu, is on top of security, and we assured both citizens resident in Liberia and in the diaspora that this country is safe. And if anyone wants to come to Liberia, trust that you have a robust Liberia National Police that is ensuring the safety of citizens. And so you have no reason to panic about some of the information that you see on social media that is being placed there by individuals with their own intents of creating fear and panic in the citizens and residents of our country. And so today we've called you to brief you on an arrest we've made in corroboration of a press statement that was released by the police informing you that we would have begun looking up on the social media for individuals who will post information as a way of creating fear and panic in the citizenry of our country. Of late, we have had people circulating on social media and other electronic and print platforms of reports of ritualistic killings in Liberia. We have made it emphatically clear that to the best of our investigations, there is no report of ritualistic killings of late, to the best of our records, except for the incident that took place in Maryland County a few months ago. Besides that incident, there is no report whatsoever of ritualistic killings in Liberia. And so those that are claiming and are reporting of ritualistic killings, we challenge them to point to individuals or places where ritualistic killings have taken place that the police has not investigated or that the police is investigating. We are asking them to do that, because placing such information in their various electronic and print platforms has the propensity to create fear and panic in our citizens, and by extension to damage the image of this country. I referenced the Global Peace Index, and a lot of you journalists can refer to the Global Peace Index of our country. If you look at the Global Peace Index, where Liberia sits in sub-Saharan Africa as being peaceful nations in sub-Saharan Africa. Liberia sits immediately after the first 10 countries of the most peaceful nations or countries in sub-Saharan Africa. That tells you that Liberia is a peaceful nation. That tells you that Liberia is safe. That tells you that the security of the state is performing excellently in providing security for citizens. And it is unfortunate that some individuals will take to social media and other platforms, both print and electronic, to create an impression that the Liberia National Police is not working. On the contrary, we are doing our best in policing the security of the state, in providing effective security. Having said that, distinguished members of the press, we released a statement recently that we were embarking on searching social media for information that people will place there that is not to the attention of the police. And that we're going to begin inviting for questioning, not arresting. And let me make that very clear. Not arresting, but inviting for questioning to assist police investigations. People, administrators who are running various chat rooms. And someone will ask, how will you know? It's because when we find out that, for example, Moses Carter runs a chat room, he established a chat room, and an information is placed in that chat room, we definitely want to know who placed the information there. The chat room administrator will assist the police, and when we get to know who placed it there, if the person got it from some other sources, they will tell us those sources so that we are able to track from one source to another and be able to find out who's placing what information on social media and how can they be of help in making sure that it's not just about placing information on social media. It's about assisting the police in its investigations so that we are able to solve cases. And so, having said that, recently there was an incident that took place in Caldwell where a lady was murdered. And there has been a lot of misinformation being circulated on social media, which has made a lot of our citizens, both in Liberia and out of Liberia, in fear of the kind of information that was posted. Of course, we have been able, and I'd like to announce to you members of the press, that we successfully traced some of the roots of those information, and we've arrested a young man identified as Jethro Selakanga Harris. Jethro Selakanga Harris was arrested yesterday in Ganta, Nimba County, while attending the convention of the Alternative National Congress. He was picked up and brought to the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. The question is, why was Mr. Harris arrested by the police? Mr. Harris was arrested by the police for raising false alarm and placing information in the public falsely in order to create panic in the citizenry of our country. What is the information? If you look here, I'm going to display to you this. Here's a post that Mr. Harris made. If you look here, Mr. Harris made a post which I'm going to read to you. I am in tears tonight. It is so painful how the young people of Liberia are dying mysteriously. This is the late Rolisa N. Bentor, an alumni of the Len Miller High School. She was murdered and parts of her body were extracted. She had dreams. She had a great future ahead of her. But there she lies dead without understanding how. May her gentle soul rest in peace, and the souls of all other faithfully departed rest in perpetual peace. Interestingly, of this post, Mr. Harris placed a photograph. And if some of you can capture this, you can capture this. This is very horrific. But I'm sorry to the rest of the individuals who are following this. It is very horrific, and it is unethical to do this in displaying this. But this has already gone on social media and it's gone viral. Mr. Harris placed a horrific photo of a female that had undergone what is called post-mortem examination. And a lot of people who are following want to know what is post-mortem examination. Post-mortem examination is otherwise referred to as autopsy. It is an examination conducted by medical practitioners in the wake of establishing cause of death, wherein individuals who undergo, deceased individuals who undergo post-mortem examinations are operated by medical doctors with their parts taken off, and each of those parts are subjected to some examination as a way of establishing cause of death. Mr. Harris placed, with all respect to the dead, placed this photograph, horrific photograph, on social media, thereby claiming that this photograph was that of the lady that was murdered in the Caldwell community. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, if you look at the photograph of the lady, and I am going to open that to a lot of you who want to see the photograph of the lady, just for some convenience of some of you media people, because this is something that we have to make sure that the members of the public are convinced. If you see the photograph of the lady that was murdered in Caldwell, and look at this, there are two different photographs. The lady in Caldwell, peace be to her ashes, there was no part extracted from our physical examination conducted. No parts extracted of all. We have arrested 3 persons that are currently in our custody here at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police, undergoing investigation in connection to the death of that lady from Caldwell. The boyfriend of the girl and 2 other persons are currently undergoing investigation. And of course, we are making sure that they will be duly investigated. If probable cause is established, they will be charged and forwarded to court. It is very ugly for anyone to paint the image of this country wrongly without facts. That is totally wrong. There are Liberians who sit in the diaspora who want to come here to spend time with their family. And they do not want to come to a country where that is portrayed as being unpeaceful, as being unsafe. It is very ugly. We will appreciate when people place information up. Those information that they place up must be characterized with facts, and not to change public sentiments wrongly. We are an investigative institution. If anyone finds out anything or comes across anything and wants to understand the truth, we ask them to come to us. And it is prerogative upon us to be able to provide them the facts, and not to sit somewhere and orchestrate, information that could create panic in the citizens of our country. And so I say to the rest of you members of the press, this matter is a matter that the police does not take lightly. Mr. Harris will be investigated. I mean, the investigation has already commenced. He will be duly charged to court, and this will serve as a deterrence to all other Liberians that want to create panic in the citizenry of our country. We are going to robustly monitor social media. And this is not to create fear in any of our citizens. But if any Liberian that loves Liberia and want to see Liberia move forward, say Liberian will not want to create any situation that could scare people, scare investors from coming to this country. And so as an institution with the mandate of protecting lives and property, creating public safety, public order, we will not hesitate, and I'm not saying arrest, to invite anyone to assist police investigations when there is need to invite you. Going forward, we will not hesitate to do that. This administration will ensure that we protect the peace and sanctity of this country. And that is an assurance we give to the rest of our citizens that are in Liberia, out of Liberia. There are Liberians that are in Liberia now that are visiting Liberia. Some of those Liberians are giving feedbacks about what's happening in Liberia. They know that this country remains very safe. They know that they have the leverage of moving around without being intimidated or being harassed. Why would anyone sit somewhere other in Liberia, other Liberia, and create fear in the citizenry of our country? That is totally wrong, and this police administration will not hesitate to take appropriate actions in ensuring that people who try as much as possible to undermine the peace and stability of our state, to reduce or damage the credibility of this country, will not go with impunity, but will be made to face the full weight of the law. We will not hesitate that. This is no intent to wish on any individual. Our institution is non-political. Our institution is an investigative institution with the statutory responsibility of ensuring that the rule of law is guaranteed, with ensuring that this country remains very peaceful, that every citizen can go about his or her normal businesses without fear or intimidation. We will not hesitate, and I mean very seriously, this administration will not hesitate to go after any individual in ensuring that they are subjected to the rule of law for anything that they will do in undermining the peace of our country. We remain very resolute for that. Our fight against armed robbery remains very strong. Our fight against misinformation to the public creating panic remains very strong. Our fight against whatever form of crime remains very strong. And we will not hesitate to ensuring that our citizens go to bed safe and sound. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, I will submit here, and if there are questions, we'll take your questions. Thank you so much.
All right, my name is Emmanuel Colley. I work for your BC Radio. I am concerned, like you said, the issue of misinformation, disinformation in the public relative to ritualistic hearing, which you are demystifying. But in our own Liberian setting, normally it is often said that where there is smoke, there should be fire. What is the LMA doing to go after those information that are coming up instead of just impacting people perhaps for caution?
Thank you so much. Our decision to forward people to court is based on facts and not on the basis of sentiments. So, if someone sits up there and tells you that there's much ritualistic killings in Liberia, the question that they need to answer is, and ritualistic killings are two different things. One can be murder, but not necessarily for ritualistic purpose. All right? So for the issue with John Todman, the late John Todman, peace be to his ashes, our record shows, and from the medical examination, the forensic examination conducted, it shows that no part of Mr. Todman was extracted. So absolutely, ritualistic killing is out of the picture. The lady in Cardwell, no parts extracted. No ritualistic killing detected. Ifua from 17th Street, may peace be to her ashes, the lady that was found 17th Street lying 17th Street, no parts extracted. Our forensic examination has established that she was sexually assaulted. No ritualistic killing. So we like to be very clear about those who are passing around with information on ritualistic killing. Please bring the information to us, because it's not to our knowledge. And when you bring the information to us, we will not hesitate to investigate. But to forget coming to us and go parading with reports of ritualistic killing, whereas all of our records does not have any information about ritualistic killing, is totally unacceptable. It does not mean well for our country. It is an attempt to undermine the peace and security of the state. And we will not hesitate to ensure that anyone who treads in information that is not factual, say person or persons, will not be made to go with impunity, but will be made to face the full of the law. Thank you.
My name is James Goode Flomo, Spoon FM and TV. Chief, is it a crackdown on freedom of speech or freedom of expression? And that is basically coming from the angle where you have made an arrest. Even before the arrest of Jethro, you had an assistant minister who posted alleging that oppositions are responsible, saying allegedly oppositions are responsible for the deaths, the ritualistic killings that are going on. Were you able to invite this assistant minister, specifically Issachar Sharif? He posted it and you still have it up. I think you can visit his timeline. Were you able to invite this young man for questioning, since you already arrested another person, or you contemplating on getting him? And then we go to Todman. Do we have any suspect into his death, or what are the reasons or the causes of his death, if we have any of them?
Thank you so much, James Goode. Let me make it very clear on behalf of this police administration headed by Honorable Patrick Sudu, that we have no intentions of clamping down on the freedom of speech or free speech. We have no intentions. But it's also important to let you know, James, and the rest of those who are following your, broadcast, that every freedom, whether freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of assembly, every freedom comes with a responsibility. Every freedom comes with responsibility. It's one thing for someone to go and make barrage of claims and allegations. It's another thing to prove those claims and allegations. So our decision to invite, to have arrested Mr. Harris is basically on the misinformation that he shared to the public, posting a fake photo of the lady that was murdered in Caldwell. That is malicious, it's totally wrong. It undermines the peace of our country, and as an investigative institution, we will not tolerate that. Anyone who does that, you will be called in for questioning, and the probable cause is established, you'll be charged and forwarded to court. Coming to the issue of Assistant Minister Issachar Sharif, I have not seen a post. I would love you to give me that post. We'll look at it, we'll share with our investigators, and if need be to have him invited for questioning, we'll certainly do so. Thank you so much.
John Todman.
The issue of John Todman. Yes, John Todman, I inform you that a coroner inquest was pending. And that coroner inquest will establish whether there was foul play in his death or not. So we have been contacting the coroner. The inquest has not been conducted yet. And we're hopeful that by Monday or latest Tuesday, the coroner will have completed his inquest. And then we'll report back to you as to whether there was foul play or no foul play in his death. But one thing we can say to the public is there was no part extracted. The late Todman was found lying unconscious in his Matari residence, his Fiaman residence. He was the police was invited by his family through our officer assigned at the JFK. An ambulance was taken there, and he was taken to JFK where he was pronounced dead. And later on, the family decided to have him, taken to Stryker Funeral Home, where his body is currently placed for preservation purposes. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just to back up, just clarity on John Todman. Why it is taking the police very long to do this one test? Looking at this young man being the son of Liberia's most successful president?
Well, the coroner works under the Ministry of Justice, but they work along with the police, so it's not for us to say why is it taking this long, but the coroner is, like I said to you, the coroner is going to conduct his inquest, and we're going to report back to you. Yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Strokon Farmer, and I report for Fabric FM and TV. I have two concerns. One is the issue with Jethro. You just mentioned and read the text from Facebook exactly, and I did not hear you read anything about Cardwell, maybe the location. He did not mention anywhere that this body was found in Cardwell. How come you came out with the conclusion that this body was the body that he posted from Cardwell? That's one. And secondly, this is, if I can recall, this is the third time that the Liberia National Police has arrested opposition figure for posting on Facebook. Georgie from Menipake, Dumoy to Mo Ali, then now Jethro. Should we say, are you telling us that the opposition is responsible for painting the country black to the international community?
Okay, thank you so much. I will also let you know that our job is not basically to take sides. We are non-partisan in the conduct of our job. All right? We have invited, you remember we invited Representative Akaras Gray here, right? We invited him for questioning on allegations. We did that, all right? We've invited Chairman Molu here for questioning. We did that. So I didn't hear you talk about those people that were invited, but you were focused on Menipake Dumo. I just want to let you know that our job here is not to invite one set of people. Whether you be in opposition or you be in ruling establishment, when you make any statement that borders on security implication, we will invite you. Let me say that to you. All right? And I thought your other question was the location. Here is it. You can go back and do your own, research on this particular photo that I just showed you as to where it has been attributed from. The photo that I just showed you has been attributed all along social media as being the female that was murdered in where? In Cardwell. And people have been running away that this was on the basis of ritualistic purposes. And so Mr. Harris also chose to post similar picture with the narrative that I just read to you. We thought that it was important to have him arrested because putting fake information to the public and creating panic in our citizens is totally unacceptable. And as an investigative institution, if we don't do anything about it, obviously it will show that we are weak. And that's why we assure our citizens that are in the diaspora, if you are contemplating coming to Liberia, there are some of your friends that are already here, diaspora Liberians that are already visiting Liberia. Take your phone, call them, let them tell you how peaceful this country is, how safe this country is. We are not trying to also negate the fact that, Liberia is free of crime. Like in the US and other parts of the world, every country has its own criminal history. So we are not trying to let you know that Liberia, there are no crimes being committed in Liberia. But what we are trying to let you know is Liberia is one of the most peaceful countries in sub-Saharan Africa. And we encourage our citizens, feel free to come if you want to come to Liberia. Those of our citizens that are in the border of Liberia already understand that this country remains very peaceful. And anyone who wants to create any impression, to instill fear and panic in our citizens, we will not hesitate, but to go after them in ensuring that they can face the full of the law. Thank you so much.
Thank you.